Hello everyone and welcome to Clarity 16.2.2 Feature Supportability Training. I am Web Mehrotra, and as part of this training we will be talking about the Clarity Concierge enhancements. As part of this release, we are now supporting multiple AI services. We will provide the ability to view actual prompt that is going to be sent to the AI for data generation. We'll provide the ability to generate or revise data for any rich text fields within the master and some sub-objects. And finally, we will provide the ability to secure AI service to specific Clarity access groups. The reason this is important is because in the previous release, we provided the capability to generate the summary of status report within an investment. And in this release, we are enhancing the capability to be able to generate text for any rich text fields that will be context sensitive. With that, let's get into the actual product demo itself. So I'm going to start off with the Clarity administration. So in the modern UX, I'm in the Clarity administration, and we still have the Clarity Concierge as beta. And here, when I navigate inside, I can see there are now two tabs within the Clarity Concierge. The first one is called Enable AI, and the second one is the AI models. So I'm going to begin with the AI models, and there you can see that there are now two AI services that are available. The first one is the Gemini Pro. This is the one that we shipped in the previous release of Clarity, and now we have the OpenAI also available right here that the customers can configure. The other change that we've done is we've provided the capability that in the previous release you would create an integration instance. The integration instance would allow you to link your Clarity instance to a specific AI service and specify the private key or API key to link to that AI service. Now we are enhancing that so that whatever service you configure, that service you can link to your definition right here. So if you have multiple services configured, you can select which one you want to link to the Gemini and which one you want to link to the OpenAI. We also have the name column here. For OpenAI only, the name column essentially refers to the model for OpenAI that you want to use. For Gemini, it does not use the name because the model is defined in the URL itself that you will configure under the integration link. And the last thing in here to be aware is that the default column is what you would select to define which of the two AI service you want to use. You can only have one default. So if I select on OpenAI, then it just automatically moves the default to there, or I can use the Gemini Pro as my AI service. Next, I'm going to go to the Enable AI. And under Enable AI, I have basically configured additional attributes that I can use for my AI text generation. The way this works, you would see that there is already a line for the status report. This is based on the previous release of Clarity that we provided. The additional ones can be added by clicking on the plus button, and there we will give you the list of objects where the AI can be configured. Here you would see the list of all the CITs, the project, the ideas, and some of the sub-objects, which would be the task, risk, issues, changes, and the status report. So all of those are listed right here. This list is system controlled, so whatever object you define in the system, if it is a CIT, then it'll automatically appear in here. Custom sub-objects are not supported right now, but we would add that in the future. So I'm going to go ahead and pick business capability, which is a CIT for me. And you would notice that I already had a business capability defined, but it allows me to pick the same business capability again. And that is because I can configure multiple attributes within the same object. So I'm not tied to just one object, one attribute, but I can have multiple attributes within the same object. The next I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I can pick any one of the rich text fields that I would like to generate, and I'm going to pick lean canvas business. Keep in mind that the attribute has to be unique, so it's the combination of the object and the attribute that is the uniqueness for being able to generate your AI text. We've also added additional columns in here. The first one is the enabled column. So just because you have defined a row in the enable AI does not mean that the generate AI button will be available. You have to select the enable in order for it to be enabled to be used. The second column is the is secured. The is secured essentially allows you to control that within your organization who should be able to use the generate AI button. This particularly comes in handy when an administrator would like to test it first, and they would secure the specific attribute and then grant access just to themselves. And that's kind of what I've done right here, where the business capability assumptions is secured and only administrators have access to that button. If I click on secure then and do not give access to anybody, then nobody will be able to see it. And that also allows me to kind of control that I've configured it, but nobody has access. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'll secure it. The next is the access. So this is be the clarity access groups that you can grant access as to who can use this specific generating of the text for this specific attribute. You do have the option for all users if you want to, or if you leave it blank, then nobody will have access to that to be able to generate. Next, when I click on the specific object name itself, it takes me to a new screen, and this is our prompt screen. So we provide the capability to generate a text within this rich text fields, or if you want to revise a text that's already in that field, then we allow you to do that also. The two prompts right here are listed that if you are generating a text, then this would be the prompt that is going to be sent to the AI. And the prompt is essentially defined like this, where we would say generate the lean canvas case in this case, which is my attribute that I selected. For business capability is the object that I've selected in the previous screen, and then the name is the name of the instance where I'm going to be running it. And I have the ability to pass additional context information, which could be another attribute, and I can pick any of these attributes that are available. These are the string text fields that are available that I can pass to my generate. So I'm going to just pick description in this case. If I'm doing the revise, there is nothing I can change. It essentially just tells me the exact prompt that is going to be sent to the AI, followed by the existing text that is in that specifically selected attribute. And that's all that I can configure from the prompt. So now I can see what is being sent to the AI service itself. All right, so I'm going to go back out again to show that, where I had picked the business capability and I had picked the actual attributes itself. All right, the assumptions and the business. Next, let's go look at the actual generation of this. So now that I have configured within business capability, I have configured two of them. I have secured both of them, but only one of them have been granted access, and the second one nobody has access. So I'm going to go into my investments. I'm going to go into my business capability, and let's open a specific business capability, and I can see that right here I have my business capability, and for assumptions where I have enabled it, I have a new button that's displayed right below that. It is called Generate with AI. We also have an information which is essentially a disclaimer that is right next to it, that whatever data that you're sending to it, it is going to your provided and your configured service model. So whatever contract and service agreement you have with them, that should be in place. And essentially the data that you're getting back from them, it is by the AI service model. Clarity is not processing anything. It is displaying that data as is. Also to note that any data that gets displayed or generated back is based on the model itself. So if it gives the data in a nice formatted way, we will present it in a nice formatted way. If it comes back in an unformatted, then we will display it unformatted. So again, that is a disclaimer there in regards to that the data being generated is completely dependent on the AI service and the model that is being selected. All right, so the other thing that I've done is I've configured that same thing. I want to pass my description as part of my prompt. So here I'm basically, if I click on the generate button, the prompt is that I want the AI to generate assumptions, which is the attribute, for my maintain system uptime within the business capability, and pass this specific description as additional context to it. I can click on the generate, the data would be sent, and I get the response back. In this case, it came back in a nice formatted way, and I can see that it has already done the generation of what all assumptions should be taken into place when I am working on the maintain system uptime. Right, so data comes back nicely formatted. The same thing I have configured right now, because I configured it only for the administrators to look at it. If I log in as another user, then I should not see this revise button. But before I go there, let's also do this. If let's just say I don't have any value in this field, I do have the generate, but if I just type in something, so this might be some data that I've typed in because I didn't want to spend too much time in trying to populate the data. I just typed that in as is. Maybe I want the AI to help me make this better. So because I've already typed in, I can see now that the option available to me is revise with AI. And what that'll do is, again, it'll send the prompt with all the context, and then it also takes the data that is already typed by me, and it takes and revises that to be much better. Now it comes back with additional information in regards to how I need to make the assumptions for this specific system. So instead of me typing too much, I can have the AI revise the data for me. All right, and now let's go ahead and log out and log in as a regular user to see that what that user will be able to see that field or not to be able to generate. So in this case, I've logged in as Dana. Dana is not an administrator, but she does have access to the business capability. I'm going to go into business capability. I'm going to go into exactly the same instance in this case. I can see what was generated. So I had just done the revise, and I had generated my assumptions. Now, but Dana does not have the option to generate or revise because she does not have access to execute that AI thing. So the security model will work based on whatever and whoever you've granted access to in terms of the access groups within Clarity itself. And that concludes our demo for Clarity Concierge. Thank you.